Big Country Politics on KTAB continues.
All right, we're back here on KTAB News. State Representative Stan Lambert, in need of a haircut.
Absolutely. I'm anxious. It's touching my ears and it just bothers me. So.
You and many others, and of course our shout out to all of those who are working and are getting ready to go back to work as hairdressers and barbers. This last week it was Teacher Appreciation Day. Your wife, former educator, right?
Yes,
so
absolutely.
Big shout out to them.
Absolutely. Our teachers do a tremendous job, and they've really been forced into kind of a different environment, this distance learning and having to try to provide homework and grade homework and interact with our students, you know, through the internet. It's just a different way for them, for many of them, but it's something that I think we're learning a lot about ourselves, about how we can continue maybe doing some distance learning in the future, and we probably will need to.
Yeah, I think Dr. Young and Joey Light have both kind of said that this is going to kind of change some stuff in the future. You know, you were on the Abilene ISD board for a decade, for 10 years. What is your reaction to schools? I mean, obviously, like you said, everything's different.
Well, my first thought is my heart aches for the seniors this year that are graduating, not just in our colleges, but certainly in our high schools who, you know, this was something they've been planning and looking forward to for a number of years, certainly in the last 3 years since they started their high school career. But hopefully school districts are looking at some creative and innovative ways to continue to honor them and recognize them and give those families that special moment, that special opportunity for them to really congratulate their seniors. This has been a 12, 13-year journey for these young people, and so I think our community and certainly those in our school district and parents and others involved need to do whatever we can to honor them and recognize them any way we can.
They certainly deserve it. And also, of course, International Firefighter Day, and it was Nurses Day. So yes, those are people right directly on the front lines too.
Totally, and we need to continue to reach out to our healthcare workers, our first responders, and make sure those folks know just how much we appreciate what they do. They really get up every morning and they walk into you know, harm's way, and it's really a challenge, I know, for them, but we appreciate them very, very much for what they're doing and what they've done, and anything that we can do to send them a note of appreciation, just you know, a pat on the back, a text message or something, just to let them know that we haven't forgotten about them, and we know the job they're doing and the sacrifices that they're making to ensure that we are protected and that we're safe.
Very good, and their families too.
And their families,
yeah,
absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, so you're holding your mask, and
yes,
so it's important for folks to be out there wearing a mask and to social distance. You know, normally we'd be a little closer, so those are important things, right?
Absolutely, and I think that's something the governor has continued to emphasize, is that even as we're starting this process of reopening Texas, reopening our businesses, getting our economy jump-started again, we need to continue to adhere to the guidelines that started 6 or 7 weeks ago, because all we've done is flatten the spread. We haven't eliminated COVID-19, and we're going to continue to deal with that issue. We know it's in our community in various areas, and so we just need to be protective and make sure. And anyone who doesn't feel comfortable doing that and wants to stay home, we respect that. We understand that. That's an individual decision. Personal responsibility is so important in this, and I would just encourage everyone, when you go out, think about not so much about yourself, but think about the other person. Wearing a mask is not so much to protect you, it's to protect those other people that you might come in contact or get a little too close to, whether it's in a store, whether it's in a restaurant, whatever it is. So it's very important that we do everything we possibly can to ensure that this thing continues to stay contained, that the percentages and the ratios and the trajectory of infection and hospitalization rates stay low. This is all very, very important in the next several months. So we just need to continue to emphasize good common sense and do the right thing.
And the governor did say before he will not make it mandatory. He's not making it mandatory to wear a mask.
That's right.
They are heavily recommending it, right?
That's right.
So very good. All right. You know, what is the state legislator do you know of any plans? What are you guys planning to do? Anything else to help folks here? You know, obviously we're not out of the woods yet.
No, we're not. There's been a lot of changes, a lot of things that have pretty much been done at the executive level through the executive orders. The governor, under a disaster declaration, has that authority and has that additional power to make some of these decisions so that the legislature doesn't have to convene and try to come back and make these kind of decisions. So I respect that. I think it's kind of opening our eyes to some things about regulatory environment, and if we pull back some of these regulations and rules and allow the governor to, maybe we need to think about, are those really necessary? Can they be looked at in terms of complete elimination? That may be something the next legislative session will see a little bit more talked about, and possibly some action taken to roll back some of these regulations. As far as our budget, as far as the state of Texas, we're still operating. Our agencies are in Austin as well as around the state. They may be doing business a little differently. They may be doing it remotely. They may be doing rotation work as far as some of them coming in and others. But we're still working, we're still helping DMV, Department of Public Safety, TxDOT, all these other agencies are still operating. Our budget is still in place for this biennium. There may be some changes coming down the road in terms of the next biennium, but we'll just have to wait and see what those revenue estimates. We know they're going to be down. We know that the sales tax and oil and gas revenue is going to impact our budget in the next biennium in a significant way. But we'll deal with that when it comes time. But for now, we think things are rolling in the right direction.
Do you think there's a need for a special session?
You know, the only thing that would be necessary is if there are some things in statute that need to change. We're talking about property tax valuations, about appraisal districts and the job that they're doing right now and so forth. I'm more in favor of extending dates and offering deferrals as far as payments and giving people, these businesses, some time to recover before we start asking them to pay their property taxes. I just think that makes good sense right now because of what we've been through for the last 6 or 7 weeks. But I do think the possibility is out there. I'm not going to make predictions. The governor's the only one that probably in his very close circle is having that kind of discussion right now. But we'll see. Right now I'm not anticipating that we'll have one, but it's very possible we could.
All right. This is not coronavirus related, but this is something that I know your heart is in, and you know, a section of the what is it? The Loop is the Rodney Holder
Yes.
Memorial Highway.
Yes.
So 10 years ago, Rodney Holder died in line of duty. So that was a bill that you helped with, and you wrote, right?
Yes, it was HB 23. That was Rodney's call number as a law enforcement officer, and I've known the Holder family for many, many years, and this was just something I felt it was important for, as a community, we want to recognize and honor, memorialize those people who have sacrificed, given the ultimate sacrifice. So it was something that we wanted to initiate. We'll continue to look at other names of officers, first responders, and others who have given up their lives in the line of duty as we go forward. But we will try to reschedule a dedication of that signage that's going to be put up on the southeast kind of area of town. But Anne-Marie and Kyler and their family have been very, very supportive and just very appreciative of the fact that we continue to honor and recognize the Holder family and particularly Rodney in his service to our community.
Very good. And just another note, our Guns and Hoses Rodney Holder Memorial Blood
Yes.
Drive is still on. We have set that date for June 24th, and
Yes.
so it'll be at the station. It is the largest blood drive for Hendrick Regional Blood Center, and so we find that that's an important thing, obviously, for our community, and what a great way to honor a great man. All right, Big Country Politics continues. Thank you so much,
Thank you.
Representative Lambert. We'll be back.